feel free to zoom in to this video. And if you haven't done this yet, or you don't know a lot about YouTube, but let me help you, click the settings button up in the top right corner. Once you've clicked that, click quality. And once you see quality, go ahead and click that 2160p version. That's gonna allow you to watch my video in 4K. And also if you wanna zoom in or zoom out, you'll be able to do so and then really see what I'm talking about when it comes to detail and the beauty that this lens is able to capture. Hey, as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to talk about the 35mm today. The 35mm is definitely one of my favorite lenses. As I was looking through YouTube videos about reviews to see what was out there and if I could provide anything valuable, I noticed so many people, they get this lens sent, obviously because they're big YouTubers. They do a quick review, they go take some really basic photos, and they don't really talk about all the true amazing qualities of this lens. I have used this on countless shoots. This lens has provided immeasurable value. I wanted to kind of go through what I would say are the three main points that we should talk about this lens. One being photo, two obviously being video, the third would be usability, accessibility, and value that this brings to my production company. And not only that, but that you would see that this lens is one of the most pivotal focal lengths that you should be using. One being photo. So the photo shoot I want to walk y'all through, one of my favorite shoots I've done over the past 2 years. I got some of my favorite images and portraits of a woman that I have gotten to this day. So I'm going to throw a few of these up on the screen. As you can see, look at the sharpness of this beautiful image. I mean, look at all the detail. At this focal length, 35mm, I'm shooting at a 1.4 aperture. You can see the sharpness, but then also the roll off of how beautiful everything rolls off into the distance. And here's another one from that exact same shoot. And you can see just that these images are timeless. Now let me throw up another image of my brother while I was shooting a silhouette of Wit to the backdrop of a sunset. And I just love this. This is actually his profile picture. All of those came from this lens. And I think if you're looking at these, look at the detail. So if you're looking, look at how it's still maintaining all that information in the shadows. This is a silhouette, mind you, so we're not getting a lot of detail, and not many lenses are able to capture as much detail in the shadows, but this lens has no trouble doing so. If you want to know the camera that this lens was on, I was using the Sony A1, which is actually what I'm shooting on right now. That is my go-to camera. I love shooting with this 35mm on a Sony A1 for two reasons. A lot of people don't really like using primes. Why? Because they want to be able to punch in, punch out. But to be honest, there's nothing wrong with having a nice zoom f2.8 aperture lens. But when you are able to use a prime and you're able to tell yourself, okay, I need to adjust my position, I need to move forward, I need to move back, I need to go below, I need to go high. That's gonna make you a better photographer as we stay on this photography side of this lens. What I love about partnering this lens with a Sony is being able to punch in. So when I do a punch in crop, I now have a 50mm just by using my 35mm. And that's why I love this lens for photography. And if I'm doing any portrait shoot, you're very likely that I'll be bringing this on set with me. Number two, let's talk about video. I have quite a few lenses that I use on countless shoots. And you know, what you'll hear oftentimes, and this is very true, is depending on the shoot, that will make and depend on what lens you're gonna use. But if I was to tell you the one lens that is definitely on almost every single production video shoot on one of my cameras, either A cam or B cam, it is a 35mm. And a 35mm is a very beautiful lens. You aren't going to be getting that really tight squeeze with depth that you would get with an 85mm, but what you are getting is you're getting context. What I love about the 35 is that the roll off to having a 1.4 aperture and having such beautiful blur behind my subject is that it really helps tell my story better. And that's the whole point of video, is helping tell your story better. Obviously with photo, you're capturing an image and you want to share the story with that one frame. But there are 23 or 30 or 60 or 120 frames per second when you're shooting video, depending on what frame rate you're shooting at. And so it really does matter what focal length am I shooting at and why am I shooting with that focal length. When it comes to 35mm, it is extremely sharp. When you see how sharp it is, that's a great thing for photo, but you may be asking as a cinematographer as I am, oh well Jack, I don't really want that sharp look. I actually want a really soft look that really looks like a film camera. And guess what? I absolutely do too. And I'm gonna actually throw some clips up here that I've shot on the 35mm partnered with a ProMist filter. And when you partner the Sony 35mm with a ProMist filter, what happens is you start to really look like you're getting filmic images, and it really looks like, oh my gosh, it's as if it was a shot from a movie. When I'm shooting handheld, I can really avoid shake quite a bit. I shot a wedding a few weekends ago, and I was wanting to get a shot, and I wanted to get a nice push-in space that the bride was getting ready in. And so I'm gonna throw that shot up right here, and you can see, look at how I'm pushing in. Look at how stable this shot is. And when you're shooting that way, people start to notice. It's absolutely breathtaking, and it's absolutely beautiful. Can you believe I got that handheld? Well, I did, and I wasn't using a gimbal. And that is the thing that I think is so awesome, is that you can use this lens and be able to shoot handheld and get so many different angles, opportunities, shots, and tell your story better. That's why I couldn't recommend the 35mm enough for video. Number 3, let's go to overview, value, and what I would recommend for you to get this lens. Obviously, you've heard me speak very highly, and I'm not talking about many negatives, because to be honest, there aren't many negatives with a lens like this. The build quality is fantastic. Love having an aperture ring. Not only that, but they give us the option to have click, which is very ideal for photo. And when you're in video, having it be smooth and being able to adjust is incredible as well. Not only that, but I really do love our focus ring. One thing I've heard people complain about is the value, in that it is a $1,400 lens, brand new. Let me just stop those rumors right there. If you're worried about $1,400 for a lens like this, then maybe this lens isn't for you, and that's okay. But if you are a cinematographer, you have a production company, or you're a photographer or a videographer or whatever you may be, this lens is an incredible steal for the price. This lens has made me tens upon tens of thousands of dollars because I am not missing shots. And that's one thing I want to come back to, is you're not going to miss the shot with a 35mm. You're going to get it. And if, let's say, you're a little too wide, don't worry. If you're shooting in 4K, punch in a little bit. Oversample when you export, and you'll have a true 4K image once again. So when it comes to the price point, is this a valuable lens to have in my production company? I can't recommend it more. You will be so happy you bought it, and you will see that this brings an immense value to you. And if you're a cinematographer and you want those soft images, remind yourself, all you need, spend another $100 on a nice quality ProMist filter, which I also have a ProMist video on my YouTube channel that you can go check out. This lens, partnered with a ProMist filter, you can hardly tell the difference between a film camera, an RE Alexa, or a Sony A1. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe to my channel. That would mean so much to me. I have a goal in 2023 to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I will be releasing a video every single week. This is special to me because this is the start of me really committing to YouTube and really seeing where I can go with YouTube, and I really love the concept and idea behind YouTube. I've always been a fan of YouTube, but now is the time where I feel that I have value to share with y'all, because I have had value shared with me. And that's one thing I'd like this channel to be, is a place where I share value, not just when it comes to camera equipment, when it comes to lifestyle, when it comes to how I live my life, how I go about my life, how I exercise, how I eat, and bettering yourself every day. You only get one life, and so let's make the most of this life. Let's go after our dreams. Let's not look back. Let's not regret. And let's work hard at everything we do with excellence. This is Difference Maker Productions, signing out.